Hey guys, it's Tina, and today I am super excited because in this video I'm going to be unboxing the brand new Gans III 56mm cube. So like I said, I am super excited about this cube. I ordered this from the cubicle, or I should say pre-ordered it from the cubicle. So let me go ahead and get everything out. And I actually had a hard time getting this out of my mailbox because the box actually got stuck because it's a little bit too big. So there we have the cube, and we have a sticker. I believe that is everything out of the package. So here we have the receipt. I'm gonna get rid of that. There's the card. They actually stuck it inside of the cube. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the card so that we can get a closer look at this cube. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the box. I'm pretty sure that it opens just like this, if I can get it open. Okay, there we go. That was very easy. So here's the cube and a pamphlet. I can see all kinds of stuff in here. There's the pamphlets, there's the two sets of stickers, the tensioning tool, as well as the little stand thingy. So there we have the new puzzle. It's wrapped in plastic. I don't know if you guys can tell at this point, but it does look very similar to the Gans III 57. So we are going to be comparing it to that cube as well. So let me go ahead and get the plastic off. So here we have the cube, and it looks nice. It feels really nice in my hands. It feels very glossy and shiny. So let's go ahead and get to first turns because I'm so excited for this thing. So here we go. Oh, whoa. That's definitely different for a Gans. Whoa. Oh my goodness. This is a new feeling. This thing is not anything like the previous Gans puzzles. I was expecting it to be a bit crunchy, even a little bit, but I was expecting it to be maybe smooth, but a little clicky or crunchy, because the previous Gans puzzles have been very crunchy and clicky because they have a very just crunchy feeling to them. This is the exact opposite. This is extremely smooth. There's absolutely no clicky or crunchiness. It's just a purely smooth cube. Like, this is a cube that I would describe as just pure butter. Now, that being said, that this cube feels really nice. It does feel a bit slow out of the box compared to some of the puzzles that we have on the market right now, such as the new Hualong. This definitely feels a bit slower compared to that, as well as the Oolong. One thing that I've noticed right away is that this cube has some substantial weight to it. I'm used to Gans puzzles being very light and airy. That's one of their characteristics. This one does not feel that way at all. It feels very sturdy, and it doesn't feel flimsy at all. So I'm going to go ahead and sticker this cube because I'm very eager to see how it performs during assault. So I'm going to go ahead and sticker this, and then afterwards we'll do some comparisons. Alright guys, so I have finally finished stickering this thing, but here we have what appears to be just a standard set of stickers. We have white on top with the Gans logo here in the center, followed by yellow on the bottom. It's a bit thin. These stickers are not the best stickers out there, but I think that they're good enough quality for now until I maybe get better ones. Followed by an orange side, a green side, red side, blue side, which is actually very dark. Wow, I didn't realize that until now. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Gans 57mm cube so you can go ahead and do a comparison. Okay, so here I have my Gans III 57mm cube. Now I think I mentioned this before, but these cubes actually don't feel anything alike because this cube feels very different than any of the previous Gans. But because these two look very similar, I figured let's go ahead and compare them. I also do have the version 2 here, but I'm not sure if it'll be worth it to compare it to that. So I will be comparing these two. So first off, I want to talk about turning. This cube here, the 57mm, is a very flimsy cube. It feels very light, and you can kind of tell that when you pick it up, but once you turn it, you can definitely feel the flimsiness and the airiness of this cube. Now the problem with that is that it makes this cube feel very unstable and not necessarily uncontrollable, but it just makes it feel very not sturdy. And so they definitely fixed that with this cube. I'm not sure if they're basing this cube off of this cube, but this cube right here feels very sturdy, so it feels very different. So of these two, I do prefer the Gans III 56mm in terms of turning. Now I do want to take these cubes apart to show you guys the differences between these two cubes in terms of the mechanism. So I'm going to go ahead and get these taken apart. So let's go ahead and take a close look at the pieces. So we're going to start off with, I guess, the corners. It's a good place to start. So here we have the corners. They do look very similar because they have the little raised edges or little fin pieces sticking out, as well as the lines here on the edge. And the major difference, as I'm sure you guys can probably see, is that this part right here, the end, the corner stock, this piece right here is an entirely separate piece from the rest of the corner. And part of the reason why is because this cube has a unique aspect to it. And that is that this cube, you can actually take these apart and actually change not necessarily the tensions, but you can change the weight of this cube. So let's move on to the edges. So here we have the edges, and one thing that I have noticed right away is that these actually look very different. The first thing that I noticed is that this piece over here has a line going down the middle of the edge, obviously because you can take it apart. This edge, on the other hand, it splits here. there's a little bit of an arc that goes along this piece here. So that is definitely one major difference between these two pieces. And one thing I also noticed is that the torpedoes are actually very different. Even though this torpedo is seems to be a bit smaller, this was definitely very hard to get out of the puzzle. So definitely different. I believe they're actually facing different ways. So that is definitely new. So those are the edges. Next, I'm going to take a look inside the puzzles, because one thing that Gans is known for is for their octopus core. It's one of the things that separates Gans from other puzzles is that their core is entirely plastic. There is washers, but there is no screws. However, we do see something quite different in this puzzle. We actually do see some metal pieces in here. We see what I'm assuming are screws or of some sort that do go into a core, or a core that we're used to seeing on cubes. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble these cubes, put them back together, and maybe we'll wrap up with some final thoughts. Alright guys, so it's actually been about a day since I've had this cube, so I've had a little bit of time to test it out and really get a feel for it. So this cube overall is a very, very smooth cube. In fact, it's probably one of the smoothest cubes on the market right now. And one thing I do want to say about this puzzle is that this puzzle does take a little bit of getting used to, at least for me it did. Maybe it's just my turning style, but it took a little bit of getting used to. It kind of feels a bit slippery at first because there is a lot of factory lube in this thing. And I'm also very sure that it is impossible, or at least close to impossible, to get a corner twist on this cube without trying, because these corners here, they are definitely very hard to twist. That took a lot of strength, and part of the reason why is because remember those little fins that we saw earlier? Yeah, those kind of help a lot with corner twisting. And that also applies to popping. This cube, I also believe, is impossible to pop. So overall, I'm very, very happy with this cube. I do recommend it, except that it is very expensive. So with that in mind, I do think it's great, but it's just a bit too expensive, I think. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it. So this is the Gans III 56mm cube. Alright guys, that is it for this unboxing. In this video, I unboxed the brand new Gans III 56mm. I also came with a tensioning tool, so you can tension the puzzle. So this definitely has the same mechanism as other Gans, so you will need the tensioning tool in order to tension it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!